I'm gonna be honest, I waited too long. I had inflammation and then I waited 3 years to get a hold of you guys again. And it just like I added more inflammation to the inflammation. So that's why I'm a mess, and I tell my husband, I wish we could have done this sooner. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, we should have done this sooner. I'm like, yeah, I know. We should have. Because I think by, now I probably would have been way better, but it's like we literally waited until if I had a message for somebody for that's looking into your program, it would be don't wait till it gets worse. Don't wait till like, oh, let's see if it gets better. It's not gonna get better, it's gonna get worse. The improvements that I have seen definitely is like my energy has been a lot better. Like my goodness, I went from being bedridden almost every single day to actually being able to do more stuff. Because honestly, I feel like I'm gonna be honest, I literally was dying. And it's not even like an exaggeration. Like my body was shutting down because I was no longer hungry, thirsty. It's like my body was like, I'm done. I want out. And recently, one thing that I've really noticed is the increase of appetite that I started having a bit ago because let me tell you, I was struggling like eating, like just trying to, just eat. And all of a sudden, I was like, I'm hungry now. Like that's huge for me because my body was already rejecting food, you know. Um, I also noticed, well, the energy, the
Anything with your hair, dry eyes, or joint stiffness, brain fog, any improvements there?
my eyes don't feel as dry. I'll
Mhm.
have, times where like they feel a little dry, but not as dry. I'm noticing also like, how I couldn't do the vitamin D and the magnesium right
Mhm.
away. I kind of just like have been adding things because my body's just been like a little crazy. With the magnesium now that I added, and then it's like I'm more calm now. I was having really ugly like anxiety too, and I
Mhm.
noticed that's calmed down a lot too. My joints, they still hurt, but not as much as they did before, because before it was just like, constant pain, but it'll be like pain that comes and goes.
Mhm.
But that definitely has improved a lot. What else? There's something that's why I told my husband, do you want to be on the call with me? Because I know I'm probably gonna forget some stuff. But definitely I'm not where I was at the beginning of the program. I feel hopeful. I actually feel like there's a ray of hope for the first time, The palpitations have diminished
Mhm.
significantly. I get them still, here and there, but they're not how it was before, where it was just like constant, just like all the time, 24/7. It was scary. And that has diminished significantly. Mhm.
So that's good. I'm happy about your progress. And we've seen people have palpitations with either thyroid problems or because they have COVID, because you had COVID. That's when a lot of your symptoms started. It could have been long
Yes.
haul COVID.
Yes.
So far, I'm happy about the progress. And what about your constipation? You said it's better now, right? Since we
It's
adjusted
gotten,
your meals.
yes,
Uh,
since you adjusted my meals, it's gotten better. I feel like once I added the magnesium, it just got everything moving. Yesterday I went up to, it was like 4 times I went. I was like, oh, okay. I've never been this regular before. I'm gonna be honest, I waited too long. I had inflammation and then I waited 3 years to get a hold of you guys again. And it just like I added more inflammation to the inflammation. So that's why I'm a mess, and I tell my husband, I wish we could have done this sooner. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, we should have done this sooner. I'm like, yeah, I know. We should have. Because I think by, now I probably would have been way better, but it's like we literally waited until if I had a message for somebody for that's looking into your program, it would be don't wait till it gets worse. Don't wait till like, oh, let's see if it gets better. It's not gonna get better, it's gonna get worse. You need them. You need them because it's just like you think that you got it or you think but it's like, no, you don't know. You need help. You need additional help. Um, But I mean, overall, I really enjoyed the program. It's been like having to get that mindset of like this is the lifestyle. This is my new lifestyle. It's not like I'm eating because I want to eat the old stuff again. It's like, no, the old stuff just messed me up. And I've learned that with you guys' videos. Like, oh my goodness, have we been taught wrong? But
Oh yes, I love teaching those classes, and I want a lot of clients to watch them.
doctors over here have it's been a dead end with everybody. It's been frustrating. I mean, I even shared with you, like, I'm at a point where I'm like, do I change PCP? I have to like start all over again and kind of start from scratch because it's just like nobody knows. They just know they're like, you're sick, but we don't know what to do with you. Like, we don't know what's wrong with you. We don't know, not even like it blew my mind how you knew it was an allergic reaction. Yet when I'm telling doctors I have shortness of breath, they're like, oh, it's asthma or it's like, and it's just like, oh, it's an allergy. Like it's an allergic reaction. So that's something new that I learned from you guys because I was just like, okay, it's shortness of breath is an allergy. Okay, well that changes things a little. But I've always known to listen to my body, but with you guys, I've even learned to even listen to my body even more. And definitely histamine. I think I do have a histamine issue because I noticed that like I have to be kind of like rotating things. I wish I didn't get to the point that I did, but I mean, we're working on it and just constant reminder of like it's a process. It's not just gonna happen overnight.
Yeah, so I think you're doing really well with your program, and also the plan is to continue following it, and then maybe we'll have another meeting at the end of the year to see like the long-term plan. But we have a client right now who's 70 years old and she just found us, but actually she had, I don't know, you probably seen her video. Her name is Faith. She had lung disease, her lung function, kidneys have improved, and she's doing really great. But she kept getting worse for 6 years. So it's never too late.
Oh, yes, you give me like that's why I tell you, you guys are like angels. You give me hope. Like honestly, I was just hopeless. I was like, I'm dying. Like, that's it. Because you can feel it like when your body's like, I'm I'm ready to go. I'm ready to check out. But I'm just like, no. Everybody's been telling me you look smaller, but you look more alive. That's what everybody's been telling me. Oh, another thing, canker sores having basically almost disappeared. I was getting canker sores all the time and not just like one. No, I would get like all of this over here full of canker sores. And I was like, if you've gotten canker sores, they're painful. And I was just like, even when I would go to church, people could tell like she's in a lot of pain. I couldn't even like stand up anymore. I would have to sit down all the time because I just felt horrible. I can stand more. I can do things with my family. Like I couldn't do that anymore. Like you guys like literally through this program, I was brought back to life. Like literally. Because I was just like literally dying. And even my mom's like, you were dying, even though doctors hadn't said you were dying. Whatever, we could all see like death. That's all we could see in you. Because even my eyes, the way they looked were just like horrible. I was always shaking. That's another thing that's gotten better. I was always like shaky because of the low grade fevers. The shakiness will come and go, but it's not how it was. It's not this constant like that. Like little things that it's like are huge. I mean, just the very fact that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can actually do things. Like before, I couldn't even carry a pan. That's how weak I was. I couldn't clean anymore. I couldn't do anything. And now it's just like I can cook for the kids now. Like I try not to overdo it because my husband's like, okay, you're still healing. Like you need to calm down. I know you feel better, but but I do notice when I push myself too hard, that's when my body's like, relapse. So I'm really learning. I'm a very giving person. I've always been very like give, 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 but I'm learning to love myself through the program.
Yes, that's what we also teach in a program, to take care of yourself so you can take care of your family. Because if you're not healthy, you won't be able to do it. Like you have seen in yourself. And I'm glad you're going through the education. Yes, please check into the client group. I know you have a new Facebook profile just for the client group, so make sure you go through it, because sometimes we post education few times a week. So just go through it to make sure you know there's nothing you missed. And then I will stay in touch with you by email. If you have questions, you can email me. You can still start updating the workbook, and I
Okay.
will review it. If we need to change anything, we will do that, or you can reach out like you've been doing through the email. Okay.
Oh, and then another thing, I noticed my eye shape was like more, I mean, I'm part Asian. And for a while I told my husband, I don't look Asian anymore. I feel like my eyes look really like round and like big. And then he was like, one day we were like getting ready and he's like, you look more like your eyes look more Asian, like again. So I'm like, I think it's definitely like the diet or something was going on like in the eyes because I definitely there's pictures where my eyes look round. I didn't look Asian anymore. Like because everybody's always been, oh, you could tell you're Asian, you know, because I'm a quarter Japanese. And everyone's always like, oh, you could tell because of your eyes. But lately I was like, I look more Hispanic now because my eyes don't look slanted. And my husband, until he pointed it out, he's like, you look more, your eyes look slanted again. So I'm like, I think it was probably inflammation in the
Yeah.
eyes that I didn't even know. That's why they look so round, and now they're just like you can see them. They're more slanted, like they've all like they were, you know, before.
Yes, definitely. Inflammation could be change the nose shape, the eye shape. People can have just different shapes, but the food can affect your face structure as well, and inflammation
Yes.
can.
And my daughter pointed that out. She was like, "Mom, ever since you started doing this diet, she's like, you're more like slim. Your face looks more symmetrical." Because she could notice I had like more swelling on one side than the other.
Hmm.
And she was like, your face just looks more straight. And I'm just like, and everyone's like, you look so pretty. And I'm like, well, how did I look before y'all are traumatizing me? That's what everybody tells me. They're like, you look so pretty. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. But I'm like, I know I'm glowing because the diet has really done me good, like in my skin. And I've always had good skin, but my skin was just very dry, like just dry. I'm telling you, I had to use like 3 different moisturizers just to get some moisture in my skin because of how dry it was. And I was just like, it's moisturizing. I have more like, you know, more energy. Like I can do stuff. Like I'm like, what? Like before I couldn't. Oh, my mom, one thing. I felt a lot of tugging in my heart. Because I know, I mean, they, you know, the cardiologist told me there's an issue, but it's not an issue. It's like your heart's not pumping how it should, but we're not worried about it. And I'm just like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's not pumping how it should, but you're not worried about it? But I could feel tugging. Like you can feel when your heart's struggling. So since I always felt that, I would always constantly kind of be like this. And I would do that as a way for me to not feel the tugging, to kind of make the illusion like, oh, that's not there. I feel that because my hand's on there. It was my way of coping with it, knowing that it was a heart issue. And my mom was like, you know what I noticed? She's like, you don't do this anymore. She's like, because every time in the call, you like, I'd be talking to my mom and I'd be like this. And she knew it was because I felt something like in my heart. And last night she told me you're not like this all the time. And I was like, yeah, because I don't feel the tugging how I used to, because it was just like constant tugging. Like my heart was just, you could feel my heart's like, it just kept trying to, you know, it was trying to stay alive. And now it's just like, I don't do that anymore. So I'm just like little things that even my mom's like, oh, you know, like this or that. My lips were purple before. They had like a purple tint to them, like purplish, and they're pink now.
Mhm.
Like they're pink because I'm just like I was that deprived from oxygen in my body that's why my lips were like that color, and now it's just like they're pink. Like I don't even think they've even looked this pink before. You know, so yeah, it's going, and I'm hopeful. Like, you know, sometimes negativity will want to come because I'm not gonna lie, I've always been a pessimistic person because I've always just my life was always surrounded by so much negativity that I just learned to focus on the negative. And like, so all this program has like taught me to also like, okay, yes, there might be these negative things still, but you're not in bed anymore. You're not you can do stuff. Like those are huge things. And I have to like just constantly, it's a retraining, like, in my eating habits and up here too. And just like learning to focus on like, okay, yeah, you might feel this, but this, like, that's how I like talk to myself now. Like, I'm like, okay, but then there's this positive, these positive things, because it's more than one. So I'm just like choosing to stay over, to stay over there. And then, the vitamin D3, like for like now that I did it with the water, like I didn't feel like those palpitations like before, or like the with the B12. The B12 was giving me like stinging in the stomach when I would take it, but it's just like right now that I'm diluting it, that's why I was like, is it okay if I dilute it in water?
Yes.
It's helped. So I can actually, take it.
Yes, it's
Versus,
okay. And people need vitamin D. Even I take vitamin D, people who, because it's important for your immune system. And even if you go on the sun, people are still deficient in vitamin D. So that's why I want you to do the test so I can see if you need to take the same dose, if you need to increase the dose. But usually there's like a way you can order it online for like $30, $40. And then they'll tell you like locally where you can go. I gave you some links you can check
yes.
out.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and do that for sure. Because I did tell my doctor, I was like, I need a vitamin D, like D panel, but that office just frustrates me. It's a mess. They did send me to see an oncologist just because of the weight loss. He was just like, I just want to make sure, like, we just want to be safe that we didn't miss anything. But because they had said that there was like something abnormal in my results. But I don't know. They're like checking out all my paperwork. I had to take everything to them, the whole book of my. So they're like, well, we're gonna look through it, and then we'll let you know if we can see you or not, or we need to see you, or we might not even need to see you. But I mean, I think it's just, and another thing, it's like I always think like I'm like maybe there's some form of EDS that went on. I had mentioned to you before, like I've literally had to kind of piece this myself because doctors have not been helpful, and I'm just like, and it's probably like, POTS too, which makes a lot of sense once you start seeing it. But it's just like, I have no official diagnosis. And then it sounds like lupus. And then, so I'm just like, I don't know. I just know that this is helping me. That's all I know.
Yes, and we had other people who had undiagnosed normal lab work, but they have a lot of symptoms, and they got better. One of our clients, he had really bad neuropathies, a lot of different symptoms, and he said our program is the only one that helped him the most, and he paid like $30,000 on the functional doctors. So, and he said our program is the one that helped him the most. I was really excited that he got better.
I know this works. It really does work. You guys really do have like that missing piece, because it's like, oh, I kind of knew, but I did not know, you know. But you guys have the missing link, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's why the challenge we have is we speak to a lot of people, and people, they see we have results, but they still like they either don't think they can get better, or they don't believe. Like somebody told me that they don't think they like they'd like to believe it, but they maybe because they didn't experience it for themselves yet. So
Mhm.
we have challenge ourselves, like we want to help people, but people like I think they don't believe it, or they distracted, like you were doing other things. We just
Mhm.
don't know. What do you think we should do differently? Are we doing something that maybe I don't know. How do we because people want to help, but maybe they don't think they believe it or they can get better.
You see,
uh,
the problem is people think people want things instantly. People want to just, and you guys, let me tell you, it works right away. Because me, within the first week, I was like, I feel different already. Which was like my husband noticed, my mom noticed, but some people just want things like I noticed people want things just so fast. Like, but they don't realize it took you this long to get to this point. It's not just going to happen overnight. Like, you're literally, what you guys are doing in your program is you're rebuilding the body, like literally from like scratch, scratching out all the bad stuff. This doesn't work, we need to get rid of it, and rebuilding the foundation. We need to, like, people need to learn to be like a little more patient, because if you want to have a better quality of life, it's going to take time. It's going to take you loving yourself. It's going to take you nurturing yourself and remembering like, hey, we need to get out all these toxic building blocks that we did, with our mistakes, and start from the foundation in order to build up into, better health. But I honestly think, I mean, you guys have testimonies. Like, I don't know why people are like, oh, well, maybe not for me. With me, it was more of like, like this, I'm like, how are we going to do that? But thank God my mom stepped in and she was like, you know what? And then my husband's sister, she helped us too. So that was huge for us, because we had already tried everything, literally doctors, medicines. I was like, I would take, but then that gut feeling was like, don't take it because it's gonna kill you, like literally. Um, so I would, I, I'm telling you, if I could talk to people that are looking into your program, I would tell them, don't waste your time. Don't do what I did. I waited, obviously, because it was, another issue. But like, if you have the funds, like, no, you can't put a price on your life. You can't put a price on, feeling better. Like what you guys do, it really does work. It really, really does. And I'm a believer because I've seen it in my own body. Um, and it's sad that people like kind of are hesitant, but I think it's sometimes because it's just like issues like you said, it's like they don't believe it can happen for them. Because you know what? I thought at the beginning, maybe it's not gonna help me. That's how I thought. But on the first week, I was like, wait a minute, like I have energy. I haven't had this energy in a while. Like I started like, going through and I even thought, I was like, even if it doesn't happen like right away, like they've given me everything that I need to know to reverse it, and I mean, the testimonies are unbelievable. I've heard so many of the videos, so many of the testimonies, and I'm just like, how can you still be hesitant after hearing all those testimonies? Like this, it does work. It really does,
Mhm.
you
Thank
know.
you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think because maybe people work with like a local person, like they see it in the office, and those doctors don't even have any testimonials because like an office. Because we've spoke to people who paid like 30K working for 2-3 years with different like holistic doctors, but they never saw any results from them. But we
Mhm.
share results.
You
Well,
really
thank you.
do.
And I appreciate that, your family helped you, that they supported you through it, and that you're here. It doesn't matter, it's been 3-4 years since you joined. Like I said, we have a client 70 years old, a few actually of them who just joined the program at 70 years old. So that's really exciting for us to see them get better. When they've been sick long, we had some people who are sick for 40 years with rheumatoid arthritis. It doesn't matter how long you've been sick, you're here now, and I'm looking forward to seeing more improvements, and we'll be in touch. Okay, so uh,
Yes.
like always, you have the client group, you have an email, and we'll continue helping you. Okay,
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
you're welcome, and I'll follow up with you with email with notes from the call.
Okay, sounds great. It was nice
Okay,
talking to you. Take
you
care.
too, you too. Bye.